Hi yogis, sorry to keep you waiting. Had a couple of technical issues there. I'm just making sure that all's working as it should. Just while I'm figuring that out, can I ask that you equip yourself with some kind of strap-like device. And if you have any injuries or health issues that you'd like some personalized instruction for, if you type that into the chat box. Otherwise, pop your strap at the front of the mat and we're going to start standing. Let me just double check everything's working as it should. Cool. Okay. So let's come to stand. So if we plant the feet, maybe just a little bit wider than hip width apart. And then let's allow the eyes to close. And just make sure the knees aren't locked out. So you may need to bring just a bit of softness into the back of the knees. I'd have the palms facing forwards and almost imagine that you've got little weights in the tips of the fingers. Let's begin to slow the breath right down. And could your next exhale kind of yield the weight of your body down through your stacked bones, through your feet, into the mat, into the earth. And then your inhale, you've got this kind of rebound effect, like the earth is almost pushing you back up. Because we're stacked, we're able to lengthen crown of head towards the sky. And then once we've got a slightly slower rhythm of breath established and we're kind of in this feeling, sensing space of the physical body, let's gently blink eyes open and we're going to start to move. I'm just going to angle my camera a little bit higher because in all that commotion I've realized I'm kind of cutting off my head. Great. Okay. So if we're standing towards the front of the mat, again, feet a little wider than hip width, toes spread. Let's take a breath in. Press down through the feet as we reach those arms up. Let the palms meet above you, gaze to thumbs. And then with a breath out, let's float the thumbs all the way down to the breastbone. So thumbs rest on breastbone. Breastbone kind of rises up to meet the thumbs. And then rest your left palm over the breastbone. And we're going to draw circles with that right arm. We're going to take an inhale to reach that right arm up. And exhale, circle it back and down. Inhale, right arm reaches up. And exhale, it circles back and down. So we're letting the body twist and rotate with the circling of this arm. You might bring a little bit of a bounce into the knees. So as you exhale, we're kind of yielding to gravity. As we inhale, it's like we're resisting, lengthening. And then next time that your right arm is reaching back, pause it there. And really stretch out through fingers and thumb. And then we're going to point the thumb down and slide the back of the right hand up to the space between the shoulder blades. So you kind of have the back of the right hand supporting the back of the heart, the palm facing behind you. Maybe close the eyes again and just take a couple of breaths into this space between the hands, into the heart space. Notice if you could soften your shoulder blades a little more. Maybe the head could draw back ever so slightly so it's definitely on top of the spine. And then we're going to release those arms back alongside the hips. We'll try that on the other side. Let's take an inhale, press down to the feet, sweep those arms up. Palms meet, gaze to thumbs. Exhale, let's draw thumbs to breastbone, breastbone to thumbs. And then we're going to place right palm over the breastbone. And we're drawing our circles with our left arm now. So we're going to inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, circle the arm back and down. Inhale, sweeping that left arm up. And exhale, circling back and down. Keep that going, couple more breaths. Brilliant. Okay. And then next time your left arm is reaching back, pause, really fan out through fingers and thumb, point the thumb down, and then slide the back of the left hand up in between shoulders. Let the eyes close, and again, let's come to breath. Feel it moving at the back of the left hand, under the palm of the right hand. Soften through the jaw. Maybe the head pulls back a little bit over the spine. Almost like you're trying to lengthen the back of the neck. Give yourself a lovely mini double chin. And then we're going to exhale, relax those arms back alongside the hips. And we're going to start to bring that movement pattern into our flow. So let's take an inhale, press down to the feet, sweep those arms up, let the palms meet, gaze to thumbs. And then exhale, we're going to fold it forwards over the legs. Knees can bend deeply for the first forward fold. You might even want to give yourself a moment to sway some weight a bit from one foot to the other. Maybe a gentle nod of the head for yes, shake of the head for no. And then we're going to take an inhale, press the hands to the shins as you extend the heart forwards, shoulder blades slide down the back away from the ears. And then exhale, we're going to step it back to our downward facing dog. Okay, then we're going to take an inhale to lift that right leg up and back. Let's lengthen out through the inseam of the right leg. Exhale, light landing of the right foot outside the right hand, knee is over ankle. And then we're going to energetically hug the legs towards each other as you breathe in. So it's like you're trying to drag the feet closer together on the inhale. And then like you're trying to slide the feet further away from each other on the exhale. Inhale, like we're trying to draw those feet closer together. Exhale, like you're trying to slide them further away. Let's take that once more, breathing in. And breathing out, and then we're going to settle that left knee down to rest on the mat. Take a breath in, reach the arms up, palms connect, gaze follows thumbs. A breath out, let's float thumbs to breastbone. And then let's reach for our belt and just pop it over your left shoulder. So we'll see if we need it. Okay, left palm settles over chest. We're going to draw those circles with the right arm again. We're going to inhale, reach that right arm up. And exhale, circle it back and down. So now there's a little more twist coming in around the spine and the waist because we've got the legs in this position. As you inhale and reach the arm up, can you think of lifting the ribs up and away from the hips? And then as you exhale, circle it back and down, you might have a little more room for the arm to reach behind you. And then next time that right arm reaches back, pause, fan out through fingers, point the thumb down. That's going to internally rotate the whole arm. We're sliding the back of the right hand up to the back of the ribs, left palm supporting the front of the ribs. Let's pause here, breathe. And then we're going to reach that left arm straight up. We're going to bend the left elbow and see about taking your belt, hopefully quite conveniently positioned, to kind of connect the hands. If you've got lots of shoulder mobility, I certainly don't, maybe your hands comfortably connect behind the ribs here. And then really drive that right foot to the mat, lift the chest a little bit, maybe even lift the gaze and open your gaze out so it encompasses your peripheral vision as well as what's right in front of you. Let's take another deep breath in, slow breath out. And then we're going to slide the right hand down so it can find the back of the left thigh. We're going to reach the fingertips of the left hand up. So now maybe the chest lifts even more. Maybe the gaze and the eye line lifts even more. Take another breath in. And then with a breath out, let's windmill our hands down back inside the right foot. Belt can pop out the way. We'll take a breath in as we are. And then with a breath out, let's come into our runner's lunge. Roll to the left shin, flex through the right ankle. And you might want to bring a little bit of movement, a wiggle of the hips, or you could turn the toes out or in. Just think of sit bone drawing back as heart extends forwards. Then we're going to roll back onto that right foot, press to the palms. We'll step the right foot back to a downward facing dog. And then let's try that on the second side. We're going to inhale, lengthen out through the inseam of the left leg. Exhale, land that left foot outside the left hand, knee is over ankle. We're going to energetically hug the legs towards each other as you breathe in. And then like you're trying to slide the feet further away from each other as you breathe out. Inhale, like we're trying to drag those feet closer together. And exhale, like we're trying to slide them further away. So we're alternately activating and lengthening different parts of the hip. And then we're going to settle that right knee down. We're going to take a breath in, reach those arms up, palms meet, a breath out. Let's draw thumbs to breastbone, breastbone to thumbs. And then we'll grab that strap if you need it, pop it over your right shoulder. And we've got the right palm settling over heart. We're drawing circles with the left arm now. So we'll use a breath in to reach that left arm up and a breath out to circle it back and down. Inhale, sweeping left arm up, and exhale, it's circling back and down. So we're starting to build some strength, movement from the waist, twisting from the waist, thinking of finding length and lifting the ribs away from the hips to create a little bit of extra space for that movement. Next time your left arm reaches back, pause, fan out the fingers of the hand, point the thumb down. That internally rotates the whole left arm. And then back of left hand wiggles up between the shoulders. We'll take a breath. Okay, then we're going to reach that right arm up, bend the right elbow, and hopefully either fingers connect or the strap allows the hands to connect. And that will create a little bit of lift in the chest. We keep on driving that left foot down to the mat like you're trying to drag it towards your right knee. Maybe the gaze lifts. And then we're going to see about sliding that left hand down to the back of the right thigh as the right arm reaches up. Chest might lift even more, maybe gaze lifts even more. And then we're going to use an exhale to windmill the hands down inside the left foot. Take a breath in here and then a breath out. Let's come to our runner's lunge. And then maybe there's some movement that you want to explore here. Maybe your breath is what's animating the shape. Let's take 2 more cycles of breath on this side. And then we're going to roll back onto that left foot, press to the palms, step the left foot back to your downward facing dog. And then we'll use an inhale to propel us forwards to a high plank. Shoulders arrive over wrists. Exhale, let's lower the knees. Take another breath in. And then lengthen the front of the body to the mat. Start with your thighs, and then the front of your hips. And then low belly, then ribs, then chest. And we'll bring fingertips wider than the edges of the mat, palms lifted. We'll use an inhale to knit shoulder blades down the back. That creates lift of the upper spine, head and neck follow. And then exhale, turn your head to one side, come down to rest on one cheek. And again, inhale, shoulder blades pull back. Head lifts, following spine. Exhale, turn head the other way, come down to rest on other cheek. And again, inhale, shoulder blades pull down the back, chest lifts, head centers. Exhale, keep the gaze centered as you lower chest and forehead back to mat. And then we're pressing our way back to our downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. How much length can you create from tail to crown? So we want shoulder blades going kind of broad across the back of the ribs and down. Back of neck long, sides of neck long. And then we'll use an inhale to lift the heels, come up to tiptoes. Exhale, a little bend in the knees. Maybe it's a step or a hop of the feet between the hands. A breath in for your half lift. Maybe hands are on shins or fingertips could be on mat. And then a breath out to fold to the legs. And then inhale, let's press to the feet. Sweep those arms all the way up overhead. Palms meet above you. Exhale, fold it forwards. Hands back towards the mat. Inhale for a half lift, spine long. Exhale, palms to mat. Let's step it back to a plank. Take another breath in here. With a breath out, let's lower knees. Inhale again. Exhale, spine stays straight. Elbows touch the sides of the ribs as you lower the front body to the mat. Pointing toes with an inhale, peel, shoulders down the back. Lift the chest, head and neck follow. And then exhale in reverse, chest lowers, then forehead lowers. You'll meet in a down dog. And then we'll take an inhale to lengthen out through the inseam of that right leg, inner thigh, inner calf, inner ankle. A breath out, land the right foot outside the right hand, knee is over ankle. So, you might need our strap. We're going to take an inhale to reach those arms up. Exhale, thumbs to chest. Really fire up this hugging of inner legs towards each other. And if you're using your belt, we'll have it over the left shoulder. Left palm over heart. We're circling with the right arm. We're going to breathe in to reach that right arm up. And breathing out to circle it back and down. Inhale, as the arm reaches up, can you zip up inner left leg, so ribs lift from hips, and then you've got a little more space for that right arm to circle back and down. Let's try that once more, inhaling and exhaling, and then next time your right arm reaches back, pause, fan out the fingers, point the thumb down. Back of right hand wiggles up in between shoulders. We'll take a breath. Then the left arm extends up and the elbow bends. So you're taking your strap between the hands, or maybe hands are connecting. And then really hugging the thighs together. Maybe the chest lifts a little bit. Maybe the head leans back into the support of the left forearm. Breathing with that open gaze that's taking in peripheral vision as well. And then we're going to slide that right hand down to the back of the left thigh as the left arm reaches up. Maybe a little more lift in the chest, a little more lift in gaze. Breathing, and then we're going to exhale, pivot that left heel down and open it out to a warrior two. So you can pop belt out the way. Check right heel aligns with arch of left foot, right kneecap tracking second toe of right foot, arms opening out wide, shoulders relaxed. So use a breath in, flip that front hand, reversing your warrior. And then a breath out, straighten the right leg, firm up the front of the thigh, reach that right hand forwards, let it find shin or ankle, maybe even mat, and the left arm reaching to the sky. It's hugging the thighs towards each other. Then take a breath in, lengthen from tail to crown, and a breath out, maybe the chest spirals a little more open to the sky and the gaze could lift to that left hand. If you're feeling wobbly, gaze could totally be on that right foot. Let's take another deep breath in. Breath out, have a little look down at the right foot. Let's bend the right knee and walk the hands all the way over to the long edge of the mat, feet parallel or even slightly toes in, heels out. Let's take an inhale to extend chest forwards and an exhale to fold. Head and neck heavy. Maybe the hands then walk back a little between the feet. And lots of focus again on inner seams of feet, ankles and legs. So could we have this lift from inner ankle that kind of feeds all the way up the inseam of the leg to inner thigh to inner hip. And then upper body might be able to find a little more softness, releasing to the pull of gravity. We'll use an inhale to walk those hands forward, spine flat. Exhale, walk hands all the way back to the right foot. We'll frame it, step it back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple it forwards to a high plank. One more modified version. Exhale, lower your knees first of all. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower your chest to the height of your elbows. Elbows are touching side ribs. Pause here. Feed shoulders down, away from ears, sides of neck long. Then we're going to press the top of the feet to the mat, straighten the legs, pull up the front of the thighs, press to the palms, extend the heart forwards. We're in our upward facing dog. And then exhale, let's flip back over the toes to our down dog. Clearing breath, and we'll try that on the second side. Let's inhale, lengthen out through inseam of left leg. Exhale, land left foot, outside left hand. Maybe you'll need belt. We're going to use a breath in to reach the arms up, and a breath out, thumbs to chest. If you're working with belt like me, pop it over the right shoulder. Got that right palm over breastbone. We're circling with our left arm. We're going to inhale, reach that left arm up. And exhale, circle it back and down. Inhale as the arm lifts, zip up, lift up out of inner right thigh. So ribs lift away from hips, and then we've got more space. You might have a shorter lunge than you sometimes tend to. Breathing in and breathing out. Next time the left arm reaches back, let's pause it there. Fan out through fingers. Pivot the thumb to point down. Back of hand glides up in between the shoulders. And then the right arm reaches up. You bend at the elbow and maybe fingers connect. You take a hold of the belt with the hands. Drop the collarbones away from the jaw. Maybe the chest lifts. Maybe the head leans back into that right forearm. And then we'll work that left hand down to the back of the right thigh as the right arm reaches up. Maybe there's a little more lift of chest. Maybe a bit more of a lift of the gaze. Breathing. And then with an exhale, we're going to pivot that right heel down And find our warrior two. So you can lose belt. Refine alignment of feet. Left heel aligns with the arch of the right foot. Left kneecap blocks your view of your second and third toes of the left foot. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale, let's flip that front palm, reversing our warrior. Exhale, we'll straighten the left leg. Pull up the front of the thigh, so quite a wide triangle here. Hand to shin, ankle, or maybe mat. And the right arm reaches to the sky. Hug inner thighs and inner feet towards each other. Take a breath in, lengthen from tail to crown. And then a breath out, chest spirals open, gaze lifts to that right hand. Breathing. Length through both sides of neck. And then with an exhale, we'll have a little look down at that left foot. Let's release the hands to the mat inside of the foot. Walk them over to the mat's long edge. Pivot feet so they're slightly toes in, heels out. Let's take a breath in, press to the feet, lift the sit bones, extend the heart forwards, a breath out, folding. And then maybe hands are walking back a little bit between the feet. Again, lots of awareness to this inseam of the leg and the energetic focus there, lifting through inner ankles, lifting through inner hips, relaxing upper body and head and neck heavy. Okay, we're going to use an inhale to walk those hands forward, spine flat. Exhale, let's walk hands back to the left foot. We'll frame it, step it back to your down dog. And then we'll take a breath synced vinyasa. You can choose any of the variations we've done so far, or maybe you're working the whole body down to elbow height for your full chaturanga. Inhale, flipping over the toes, and that propels the chest forwards and up for your up dog. And then exhale, flipping back over toes to downward facing dog. We'll take 5 breaths here. It could absolutely be a child's pose if that would serve you better right now. Can you ride any irregularities in the breath rhythm back to a more even pace? And perhaps a slow breath helps you find a steadier heart rate if that started to lift. And then let's inhale, lift the heels, come up to tiptoes. Exhale, little bend in the knees. Maybe it's a step or a hop of the feet between the hands. A breath in for your half lift. A breath out to fold to the legs. And then inhale, press to the feet. Let's sweep those arms up, palms meet above you. And exhale, bow it forwards, hands towards the mat. Inhale for a half lift, spine long. Exhale, we'll meet in high plank. And then your variation of a chaturanga, maybe whole body at elbow level. Inhale, rolling over toes propels you to your up dog. Exhale, back to downward facing. So use a breath in to lengthen out through inseam of right leg. And exhale to step that right foot outside right hand, knee over ankle. Maybe you grab your belt. You're going to take a breath in to reach those arms up. And a breath out, thumbs to breastbone. Breastbone lifts to thumbs. Left hand over heart. Let's draw some circles with that right arm. Breathing in and breathing out. Trying to feel that connection between muscular activation in that back leg and how that impacts pelvic floor and low belly and the lifting of the ribs away from the hips. And then that right arm reaches back. It pauses there, thumb points down. Back of right hand works its way up in between the shoulder blades. And then the left arm reaches up. Elbow bends. Maybe you're taking your belt, or maybe the fingers connect. Maybe the head leans back a little into the left forearm. Open out the gaze to include your peripheral vision. And then work that right hand down to the back of the left thigh. The left arm reaches up. Maybe a little more lift of chest. With a breath out, left heel pivots down. And we'll find our way to a warrior two. Take a moment, realign feet. Front kneecap tracking second and third toes, shoulders relaxed. Gaze open but over that front hand. Take a breath in, sweep that right arm to the sky, reversing our warrior. And a breath out, let's straighten the right leg. Roll over that right hip to find your triangle. And maybe you stay in your triangle, that might be serving you fine. You could hold it here.
If anyone feels a little more adventurous in terms of balance, you could move it from here to a half moon. So you could be working fingers of right hand further forwards of the right toes, shuffling that back foot a bit closer in, and then shifting the weight onto that right leg, kicking out through inner left heel, left hip over right now, reaching forwards through crown of head, so left arm might lift. Okay, and then let's exhale, lightly lower that left foot all the way back towards the mat. Bring both hands inside your right foot from whether we're in triangle or half moon. Walk them over to the long edge of the mat. Again, we're going to pivot toes in, heels out. Let's take a breath in, lengthen from tail to crown, spine flat. This time, we're going to bring inner wrists to touch, palms together. And if you feel your back and it feels like it's rounding, take a little bend in the knees so you can feel that your spine is nice and flat. Okay, we're going to inhale, lengthen from tail to crown. Exhale, spiral from the waist, reach the right arm up, let the gaze follow. And then take a breath here, lengthen further from tail to crown. And then we'll float that right hand back. Let's take another breath in, lengthen. And then an exhale, waist corsets as the left arm reaches up, gaze can follow. Breathing, and then we'll float that left hand back down. Let's take it once more to each side. Prepare with an inhale by lengthening the spine, and then exhale to find your rotation, and then marinate in it for a breath. Find some space for the breath. And then that right palm connects back down. Let's try it, the left arm reaching up, and then that left hand returns to the mat. Super. Okay, we're going to walk our hands back towards that right foot. We're going to frame it with the palms, step it back to down dog. Inhale propels you forwards to a high plank. Exhale your variation on a chaturanga, could be a modified one. Inhale for your chosen back bend, cobra or up dog. Exhale back to your downward facing dog. Again, let's take a clearing breath, maybe an exhale through the mouth or a sigh. And then we'll try that on the other side. We're going to inhale, lengthen back through inseam of left leg. Exhale, land left foot, outside left hand. Knees over ankle. We'll use a breath in to reach those arms up. You might want to grab your belt. A breath out, let's bring thumbs to breastbone. And then settle right hand over heart. We'll draw some circles with that left arm. A breath in to reach it up. And a breath out to circle it back and down. Inhaling. And exhaling once more. And then next time the left arm is reaching back, pause, stretch out through the hand, thumb points down, back of hand works its way up between the shoulders. Then that right arm reaches up. Elbow bends, maybe fingers connect or you're holding onto your belt. And then maybe chest could lift a little and head might lean back towards forearm. Open out the gaze, soften the jaw, maybe a little smile. Then we're going to work that left hand down to the back of the right leg. The right arm reaches up, maybe even more opening through chest, even higher eye line. And then we're going to exhale, pivot that right heel down and feel our way into a warrior two. So there might be some little adjustments. And then once you're satisfied with the alignment of the lower body, soften those shoulders, reach from hand to hand. We'll use a breath in to flip that front palm, reach it to the sky. A breath out, let's straighten the left leg. Engage the front of the left thigh, hand find its way to shin, ankle or mat. The right arm's reaching up. Maybe triangle is where we want to stay for a few more breaths. Or we could start to shift it to a half moon balance. You could work that left hand a little further forwards, scoot the right foot a little further in. Continue that until we're able to shift the weight onto the left leg, kick out through inner right heel, forwards through crown of head, reaching up through fingers of right hand, expanding out from the center of the body in all directions. And then with an exhale, let's lower that right foot if it's lifted. All of us from triangle or half moon, let's bring hands inside that left foot, walk them over to the long side of the mat. Feet slightly turned in. And we're going to have the spine flat now. So maybe just feel with the hand, check that it's not rounding. If it is, bend the knees. You could also have some height, like a block or something underneath the palms. Inner wrists connect. We'll inhale to lengthen from tail to crown. And then exhale, let's reach that left arm up. Take a breath here. Find some movement in the spine with each round of breath. And then we'll float that left palm back towards the floor. Take another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, the right arm reaches up. Breathe in, lengthen the spine again. Breathe out, maybe there's more space for twist. And then we'll lower that palm back. Once more on each side. Inhale for length. Exhale for rotation. Another breath. And then that left palm connects to the floor. Right arm reaches up. A breath. And then right hand comes back to the floor. Okay, let's walk the hands back to the front of the mat. Frame that left foot. Step the left foot back to your down dog. And then your variation of a breath sync vinyasa, nice and slow. Inhale to ripple it forwards. Exhale through a version of a chaturanga. Inhale through a back bend. Exhale back to your down dog. Could be your child's pose. Let's take 5 breaths to reset, regroup, recenter. So we've done a lot of active twisting in that sequence where we're rotating the ribs but without an arm to kind of lever the body around. So it's a lot of work for the core. Let's use an inhale to ripple forwards to a high plank again. With an exhale, let's all lower the knees. And then we'll going to roll the front body down, growing it longer as we go, beginning with thighs, and then front of hips, and then ribs and chest. Okay, so we're going to go into the shoulders a little bit more now. Let's reach the arms back, palms facing each other, and that's going to create some lift in chest. You're going to bend the knees, and we want to grab the ankles, right? But we're not going to this one. We're going to reach the hands back as if we're going to grab the ankles, reach the feet towards the hands, and breathe. Harder work than when we take the bind. Let's try 2 more breaths. And then exhale, let the head turn to one side. Relax the feet down, let the shoulders shrug forwards. Take a couple of deep abdominal breaths. Let that create some movement in the spine. So the low back will lift away from the mat a little and flatten as you inhale. And then as you exhale, it drifts back down towards it. Okay, second round, we have the option to grab the ankles if it's available. So if the ankles aren't within reach, almost better work for you really is this version where we're not holding onto them. If they are, and you fancy an experience of it holding them, grab ankles with hands, keep the knees hip width apart, press the feet to the hands to roll shoulders back and find lift in chest, and then maybe the thighs lift a little bit too. And then you might find that as you breathe, you create some rocking forwards and back. And we find some softness in the face and the jaw. And then exhale, let's turn the head the other way, come down to rest on other cheek, relax the legs, the shoulders, breathing into the back. Okay, and then once we've kind of absorbed all of the residue, the after effect of that shape, we're going to bring our hands back to the mat either side of the chest. Press our way back through hands and knees. Tuck toes, pull sit bones back towards heels, inch fingers forwards. Forehead heavy. Breathe into the full circumference of the ribs. And then we press into those tuck toes and we're back in our down dog. Okay, bring bases of big toes to touch. We're going to walk the hands back as we bend the knees, finding our toe squat, our genie squat. So we're going to squeeze inner thighs and knees together, bring the spine to vertical, connect the palms in front of the heart. So you're very welcome to pause here, and you might be working into that balance, squeezing everything into the midline. Next option is to bring in some twist, and we'll add a side bend into the mix to give us extra space. You could try dropping left hand outside left hip, taking a breath in, reaching that right arm up, and then with a breath out, right elbow could anchor onto outer left thigh. And at this point, have a look at the knees, because probably the right knee's gone forwards. Squeeze them together to try and bring them back into line with each other. And then maybe palms connect. And then maybe we take an inhale and lengthen the spine. And then maybe we take an exhale and find a little bit of a prayer twist, chest spiraling to the left, shoulders working their way away from ears. So you could stay here. This is a really good one to be working with. Option, you're quite well prepared to move from here into a revolved crow. So it's an arm balance where we're trying to nestle outer left thigh as high up the back of the right upper arm as we can. So you can use your hand to help you with that endeavor. And then you can place the palms shoulder width apart, and we're using the back of the right upper arm a bit like a shelf as you lean the chest forward. So it's like chaturanga arms. Shoulders are going to have to come forwards, elbows over wrists. Maybe the toes just go a little bit light and you kind of take a little hop. Maybe for a moment, one foot lifts. Maybe for a moment, the second foot lifts, and play. Yeah, but we need to get that left thigh quite far up the back of the right upper arm. When you feel like you've had enough of that play, we're going to meet back in center. Super. Okay, let's try that on the other side. Right fingertips drop down. We'll reach that left arm up. Exhale, let's bring left elbow to outer right thigh. And then squeeze in and knees together. Then palms might be able to meet. We'll take an inhale, lengthen from tail to crown. Exhale, how's about spiraling chest a little to the right. And you're welcome to stay here. This might be plenty. If you want to have a go with the arm balance, we're thinking about getting that right thigh far up the back of the left upper arm, palms shoulder width apart, and then I'm just going to give myself a bit more space away from my couch. Thinking, you might be able to see better this way as well. Thinking about using the back of the left upper arm and elbow a little bit like a shelf to balance that outer right thigh on. And you can play and pulse forwards and back a couple of times. And then when you feel like you've had enough, let's meet back in center again. We're going to let the knees go wide and then walk the hands forwards and let the spine round. Let's breathe into the back of the ribs, head and neck heavy. Okay. And then we're going to ease the hips all the way down, come to sit. And we'll have a seated forward fold with the sole of the left foot connected to inner right thigh, kicking out through that right ankle. Let's take a breath in, reach those arms up. Sit really tall through the spine. A breath out, lengthen over right leg. Maybe you've got foot, you could loop your belt, you could hold onto your shin. Take a breath in, tilt the pelvis forwards, lift from pubic bone to navel and navel to breastbone, work the shoulders down the back. And then exhale, maybe the back body kind of catches up with that length in the front body. Continue to work it with the breath. Inhale to open the front. Exhale, maybe to lengthen the back. Let's take 2 more cycles of breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Maybe the last one, we let go of hold of the foot and let the forward fold come from the center of the body. And then we'll use an inhale to sit our way back up. Exhale, left palm. Let's bring it to the mat behind the left hip. And then point the fingers of the left hand behind you. So your inner left wrist is pointing same direction as your left knee. Then we're going to roll onto the left shin and the right foot. And that left shoulder is working its way down the back, pinning itself to the back of the ribs. Heart shines open. And we're breathing. And just absorbing every aspect of this shape, this experience in the body, in the breath, in the mood, in thoughts. And then we're going to exhale, slowly lower the hips all the way back down. And we'll cross that right shin in front of the left shin. with the shins parallel to the short end of the mat, or you could have that right shin stacked over the left shin. Lots of flexion in the ankles. And you can also have something underneath your seat here if this doesn't feel super comfortable. We're going to drop fingers to the mat either side of hips. Take a breath in and a breath out to lean the body forwards. And maybe you want to keep those hands pressing behind you, and that helps you sort of tilt into your forward fold. Or maybe the arms are reaching in front of the legs. And then we're able to hear the breath quite well as we are. So let's use that breath awareness to round out any jaggedness in the breath rhythm. And I'm going to count us a couple of rounds. Let's take a deep inhale together. Full exhale. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, let's sit our way back up. Exhale, meet in a down dog. That could be from rolling over crossed feet, or you could take the feet to one side. And then a slow breath synced vinyasa. We're going to inhale, ripple it forwards to a high plank. Exhale, work through your version of a chaturanga. Inhale for your back bend. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. And then let's meet seated. Could be a little hop to a cross-legged seat. And we're going to extend the left leg straight, sole of right foot connected to inner left thigh. And then use a breath in to reach those arms up. That lifts the ribs away from the hips. A breath out to lengthen over left leg. Maybe you're taking a belt or the foot. And then we're going to inhale, tilt the pelvis forwards, brighten the chest. So chest shines towards the left foot, shoulders pull down the back. And then exhale, maybe the back body catches up with the length in the front body. Inhaling. And exhaling. 3 more breaths here, slow. And then final 2 breaths, maybe you just let go of the foot. So the movement is really coming from the center of the body. And then we'll use an inhale to sit our way back up. Exhale, right palm comes behind you. And then point the fingers back so the inner wrist is pointing same direction as right knee. Then we're rolling onto the right shin. And the left foot, the right shoulder is feeding its way down the back and in towards the center of the back of the heart. Left arm reaches overhead, chest can spiral open. Breathing, inner thighs can hug together. And then we'll use an exhale to lower the hips. And we're crossing now left shin in front of right shin, or stacking left shin on top of right shin. Lots of flexion at the ankle. Let's drop fingertips to the mat. Take a breath in, lift the chest. And a breath out to lean the body forwards. Maybe we keep the hands behind us, or you could reach them in front of you. And then we're going to feed the breath into the back of the ribs. And we'll work with a really regular rhythm. Let's take a deep inhale. Full exhale. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll inhale, walk the hands back in. So exhale, uncross the legs. And you might need to scoot a bit further forwards on your mat. We're going to come down to lie on the back. Plant the feet to the front of the mat, hip width apart. Take a hold of the shins with the hands. Use an inhale to tip forwards on your sit bones. Lift the chest, pull the shoulders down the back, little lift of the chin. And then exhale, rounding the spine. Let's firm the low belly. Ease the body down to lie. And then we'll just give the knees a hug in. Take the knees wider than your ribs. Subtly tilt your pelvis just a little bit forwards so that your tailbone feels like it's lengthening to the mat and the low back feels like it's broadening. And you could stick with this grip, or you could evolve that into your happy baby, but just make sure that the happy baby grip of the feet doesn't cause any rounding in the low back. And then we'll release hold of feet and find your expression of Shavasana. Maybe knees stay bent. Maybe the legs are straight, the toes flop out to the sides. Lots of space between tops of shoulders and ears, so you can kind of work those shoulder blades a bit further down and underneath you. Eyes closed. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. And again, inhaling nose, exhaling mouth. Once more. And then let the mouth close and the softest breath moves in and out of the nose. And then can we come back to the experience of the body? How does the body feel now in comparison to the start of the session? Does the interior of the body perhaps feel a little more spacious? A bit more sort of awake with sensory awareness, feedback? And then how's about surface level body sensations at the level of the skin? Maybe you can feel the skin touching the mat and the floor underneath you, or you can feel clothes touching skin or air moving over exposed skin. And then let's project our awareness out a little bit beyond the edges of the physical body. So it's almost like there's a kind of bubble of awareness, a foot around the whole circumference of the body, a foot above us, a foot either side of us, a foot underneath. And what's it like projecting our awareness out there? Can we sense or imagine, visualize stuff that's positioned close to us? And does that expanded awareness beyond the edges of the physical form allow us to kind of occupy the space around us a bit more comfortably, a bit more fully? And then we're going to slowly start to amplify the breath again. And as you breathe a little more deeply, feel the body expand out into that kind of bubble of awareness around you. So we're breathing as if every part of the body was subtly moving with each breath. And then when it feels really natural and kind of inevitable that movement's going to come back into the body, let's wiggle toes and fingers and circle wrists and ankles and have a stretch and a yawn. We'll give the knees a hug in. Roll the body over to one side. We'll find our way to a cross-legged seat.
Spine tall, shoulders soft. Breath easy. And then let's connect those palms in front of the heart in gratitude to yourself for your effort and your practice. Bowing the head. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Apologies for the delayed start and the technical issues. I would love to hear if you have any feedback or comments about what we did. Please do type them into the chat box. Feel free to reach out to me outside of the YouTube stream as well. All my details are on my website, mollymartinyoga.com. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the sunshine. Thanks, yogis. Okie dokie. Well, I will leave it there, yogis, and I hope you have a nice rest of your afternoon.